Hey y'all, welcome to yet another direct action gaming session. My name is Sean, and today we'll be doing day 4 of our first This War of Mine campaign. In theory, we're still in the dawn phase of day 3 though, since I still haven't done empathy checks for our survivors here. Basically, we saw our first death last time because Roman the Deserter was brutally murdered by a raging gang as he tried to defend our shelter. And they took a lot of stuff. We don't have hardly any more meds or bandages or any of that stuff we got from the hospital left. And so, whenever a character dies and or leaves, we have to see how that impacts everyone else in the dawn phase. So we got to do that first. Then, in addition to all that, the good news is we've made it through chapter 1. But the bad news is we failed to complete the Chapter 1 objective, so we'll be getting a penalty for that. We're going to see how that works. Also, it's very cold in our shelter, and or we're at max cold. There's like 6 tokens in the cold space. Let's see. Yep, it's very cold, and, well, see, the problem with that is we have nothing... We have basically no way to manage the temperature. It's just really cold, and as long as it's still very cold, we're going to be constantly getting more and more illness from that every single day. So that's a bit of a priority. And in fact, Roman may have died because we've been neglecting our defenses in general. We don't have a single weapon. We don't have a single window boarded up in the shelter here. We got nothing. So I think our new goal needs to be doing some board ups with the workshop and maybe building a simple heater. Because the simple heater will allow us to burn books and or wood to remove some cold tokens from the space there. So that would be good. We will of course need some more food, meds, and water as well, but if I've learned anything about this game so far, it's that you never seem to have enough time or resources to do everything, and as such, each phase of each turn brings a new set of difficult decisions that will certainly yield some consequences down the road. Usually bad consequences, because you never have enough stuff, so hard choices need to be made. So anyway, I do think that I need to remember this isn't your typical game. It's not about winning any chicken dinners or getting high scores. Instead, it's ideally about absorbing the story that unfolds before us, and it is certainly primarily about experiencing that story in a way that we might empathize a little more with refugees by stepping into their shoes for a bit. I doubt very many people watching this video have ever had to experience war as a non-combatant before, so it ain't pretty. With all that said, let's get started. Okay, so once again, tried to write a bit of a hook intro, so that way as soon as we start the video, y'all are gonna know what it's about and what's gonna happen and yada yada. We're gonna do day 4. We're gonna see what happens. We're gonna see, is the game gonna end, or can we make it one more day here? Now, our situation isn't all that dire. We still have 3 survivors. They are all part of our original group. None of them is dead yet. In fact, none of them even has a state that's beyond 2 for the moment. So we'll see what happens. But the very first thing we need to do, as I said, we need to check for empathy on all 3 of our survivors here, Katya, Sveta, and Pavel, to see how they have reacted to Roman's death. So I think the way this works is we need to get something that is equal to and or greater than their empathy for them to not be emotionally affected by Roman's death. Meaning, of course, the higher somebody's empathy is, the harder for them to, of course, not care about a bad thing that has happened. So it says, oh my gosh, All right. Glad I double checked here. It says Death Among Us. At the end of the dawn phase, check if any character died or abandoned the group today. If the answer is yes, roll the black die and compare the result with the character's empathy. On a result equal to or less than their empathy, raise their misery by 2. So yes, we are going to need to get something greater than their empathy. And what this definitely means is if we fail this for Katya, she's going to kill herself because she's already at misery 2 thanks to the fact that we didn't have enough coffee. So it's possible that not having coffee and Roman being murdered is going to just drive Katya over the edge here. So we're going to see if that happens. It's possible that if Katya dies here... Let me read this again. Death Among Us. At the end of the dawn phase, check if any character died or abandoned the group today. If the answer is yes, roll the black die and compare the results. Because we're already rolling for everybody, but if we roll for Katya, do we have to roll twice for everybody else? I don't know. We'll see. First of all, we'll see, can we get an 8 or more with Katya? Yeah, we got a 9. So we dodged that bullet. Katya is not sad about Roman dying. So she does not die. That's great. What about everybody else, though? Let's do Sveta. We need to get a 10, basically. So this is almost certainly going to affect her, and we will need to raise her misery by 2. Actually, she got a 10. So somehow the school headmistress, Sveta, with a very high empathy of 9, just does not care that Roman got stabbed to death by a raging gang. Okay. If Pavel is the only one that's like emotionally affected by Roman's death, that's going to be fucking weird. He's a soccer player. He has the lowest empathy of all. Empathy 6. So we need to get a 7 or more for Pavel to also not care. And we ended up getting a 6, which is equal to his empathy, and that means we need to bring his misery up to 3, because it was already at 1. Okay, so this is kind of bad. So Pavel's misery goes to 3. Let's see here. Misery 3. Okay. So that happened. Pavel is at risk here. We need to bring his misery down, or some bad stuff is going to happen. So now that dawn phase is over, we are now officially in day 4, and what that means is we got to start with the day's event. So first of all, it's this chapter 2 card, because we've just finished chapter 1. So what does the chapter 2 card say? Chapter 2, you have just finished the first chapter of the campaign. Add the Night Raid and Residence cards that have not been used in the game with a red corner to their corresponding decks. Okay, so no more Crime Wave stuff. We're just throwing everything in there. Then resolve the top objective card. See the reward if you meet the conditions, or the penalty if you do not. We get the penalty, and remove that card from the game. You may save the game now, or start the second chapter immediately by drawing the top event card to begin a new day. After you resolve this card, remove it from the game. Okay, so several things here. First of all, we have to grab I think there's really only 2 other cards. There's 1 Night Raid card and 1 Resident card that we have not added yet due to the Crime Wave thing. So we're going to add those and shuffle these decks a bit. So that's the Night Raid deck shuffled. And then we're going to add this 1 card to Residence. Alright, so there's that. Oh, I am amazed the only person that got sad because of Roman's death was Pavel. It's a little weird, but I'll take it, because if Katya had taken an empathy hit, like, she would be dead, and then we would only have 2 people left that we might have needed to take 2 empathy checks for. That would have been really bad. Anyway, moving on. So we have added those cards, and we also need to resolve this objective here, which is taking care of ourselves. At the end of chapter 2, each character's misery must be lower than 2. That is definitely not true now. At the end of the last video, we kind of already knew that we did not succeed this, because since we didn't have coffee, Katya got sad, so she went up to misery 2. But now we also have Pavel up to misery 3 due to Roman's death. So we definitely did not succeed this, and our penalty is called capitulation. Raise one chosen character's illness by 2. Now this is a bit of a problem because everybody's illness is already at 1 due to the fact that, again, we have maximum cold out and we have no way to manage that. So that means I was kind of thinking we may need to do this to Saveta. We can choose who gets super ill thanks to the fact that we didn't take care of ourselves. So yeah, it's going to be Saveta. We have to raise her illness by 2. That's going to bring her to illness level 3. All right. So now we have 2 characters that are on death's door. Now we do have 1 herbal meds, so that will help with... I guess we have to give them to Saveta too, since her illness is at 3. Let's see here. We are almost certainly going to try to do some scavenging at the hospital. Because if we could maybe if the girls go scavenging, Katya and Saveta, both of them, they might be able to heal Saveta at the hospital. So there is that. Pavel can guard, and we still have 2 narrative cards here. We've got Through the Sewers, and we also have Got It. And those basically mean that, like, if Pavel cannot die during the night raid, then he can help take more stuff back. And Got It means we are guaranteed a knife during the scavenging phase, which means we are guaranteed to find a weapon. So that could help. That could be really good. Bad news is we have 2 characters on death's door. Let's see. We only have Katya and Pavel that are really going to be able to do stuff during the day actions phase, meaning we have a grand total of 4 actions during the day phase to do basically anything. And it's very cold. We need to manage that. We have almost no food and water. We've got 1 raw food and 1 water, and that is it. And dusk is going to happen before the scavenging phase can happen. Even if we use our deadfall trap or our rainwater collector, that's not going to yield any immediate results. And we don't really have a way to access more stuff in the shelter here. Unless we had probably... Oh, by the way, in addition to all that, I've been doing things a little bit incorrectly here. And also, before we do anything else, we need to draw another event, because we're still in the morning phase. So let's take care of that, shall we? Let's draw the top event and see what that says. Okay, it says add to the cold space. We can't. It's already maxed out, but it does say relatively peaceful. So we place this card on the Night Raids deck. If there is at least one board up token in the shelter, oh my gosh, oh my gosh. We actually got some good news for once. Okay, so we were planning on doing the board up anyway. Now we really do need to do that. Because if we can just manage one board up, we can skip the Night Raid, and that means we don't have to worry about like a raging gang again. But I saw somebody else playing this not too long ago, and I saw that I've been doing the day action phase just a little bit incorrect, shall we say. So let me try to read this again to make sure. Okay, it says 3 actions during day actions. Each character may perform up to 3 actions. The number of actions may be less if a character possesses state tokens with black markers. Okay, we already kind of know this part. We know about the state tokens that remove available actions. Saveta has illness level 3, so she can do nothing during the day. Both Katya and Pavel only have their 3rd action removed, so each of them is capable of doing 2 actions. It then says only one character can be placed on each fitting shelter card and on each shelter action space. Then it also says at the beginning of each action stage, 1st action, 2nd action, and 3rd action, assign all the available characters to chosen actions and then resolve their effects simultaneously. Okay, and I guess that's the thing. So, like, for example, with Katya and Pavel, since they can do stuff, we would have to decide what is Katya going to do and then what is Pavel going to do. And the guy I was watching mentioned that, like, if somebody does something that gets you resources, you don't actually get those resources immediately. You have to wait until that action stage is over, right? So quick example here. Let's double check once again real quick. Day actions FAQ is 300. Let me see where it says this, what this guy was talking about. Let's go to 300. All right, shelter cards actions. For actions, it says the tokens and resources required to perform actions are immediately discarded as soon as a character is assigned to perform the action. Oh, here's the bit. The tokens and resources created by an action are added to the storage only after the action has been resolved. Okay. So I guess that's what that guy means. For each XY rule, description of many. Each of the 3 stages of the day actions phase place all effects of the actions to which characters have been assigned are resolved simultaneously. This means that the tokens and resources gained in these actions cannot be immediately used to another action during the same stage. Okay, so we have confirmed that, and I guess a quick example is what I was kind of thinking about doing. We're finally going to get started here. I was kind of thinking about doing is one person can poke about, because I want to, if nothing else, at the very least, do a board up, and we're going to need one component for that. We have plenty of wood. We have 9 wood, but we have no components. So somebody can go down here and poke about, and then we might also, while somebody is doing that, we could have somebody else go to the deadfall trap and use some chems to potentially get some more raw food at the end of the turn. That would be something. I mean, the other person could do that, Or... heck, we could even have 2 people at the same time go down here to poke about to get twice as many resources. But... there's also these rubble remnants up here. Somebody could do that, but that would just get rid of this. We don't have any lockpicks to pick any doors. So there's that. I'm not as concerned about water as I used to be either, because I know that provided we have enough people scavenging, we can just carry water back with us from the scavenging run. So there is that. And since we also have through the sewers, and since things are relatively peaceful, we can potentially bring back a lot of stuff from the hospital, because Pavel on guard duty could help us carry stuff back. So things may not be as terrible as we thought here, but we are going to need to do 1 board up. That is for sure. So do we want potentially more components, or do we want to try and maybe get some food from this deadfall trap? Now, more components would be good, because if we've got more components, as usual, I am overthinking things. Let's just do something, shall we? Let's do something. So we'll start with Katya, and we will have her poke about, and that means I'm just looking to see what it says on the space. It says it does say any number of characters can be here at the same time. So there is that. That's why I was kind of thinking about maybe just sending both people down here to get as much extra stuff as we can get. We roll the black die for each character placed here and add the following to the storage. Alright, so what do we get on the die? We get a 2. So we only get 1. We get a grand total of 1 component. That's all we need, but it would have been nice if we could have gotten more. Alright, so we do get 1 component, and we don't put that in the storage just yet. Because Katya just found that, and it won't get that into the storage until Pavel does something. And screw it. I'm gonna have him go down here. See if I could have him go down here and see if we can get some more stuff. With this 1 component, we can do 1 board up, so somebody else would have to go here. Somebody can still do this anyway, though. Honestly. Like, if Pavel does this, then maybe we get some more stuff, and then I could have 1 person go to the deadfall trap and another person go to the workshop. And that could be how we play this. So we'll roll for Pavel too to see how many components he can find. Okay, we got a 3, so that is once again only 1. Okay, not getting lucky on these rolls here. So, but we do get 1 more component now, which means we have 2. So now we can take these 2 components and actually put them in the storage space here. And now we can do what we were talking about. We're now in the second action stage here. Saveta can still do nothing. Pavel can go to the deadfall trap, and we will put a weight token on it after burning some chems. put a weight token here, and we take 1 chems token, and we toss that out. So we needed to... Yep, we put a weight token there. Alright. And then we can also have Katya go to the workshop, and she can make precisely 1 board up now. So we can do... if we take 1 component and 4 wood, which is exactly as much wood as we have in the storage here. We have 5 wood over here. We burn this stuff. We can get 1 board up. And that's good, because that means we avoid the night raid phase for this turn. We are going to be able to reduce damage, wounds, in future night raids by 1 by having that board up. And we can also reduce the cold effect by 1 as well. So, unfortunately, we weren't able to build a simple heater, and we are definitely going to need a lot more components to do that. We need 4 more components somehow to build a simple heater so that we can affect the temperature even more. But okay. So that was all we were able to do for the day actions phase. That phase is over. Now we go to, I believe, dusk? Yeah, now we go to dusk, and this is going to be painful because we only have 1 raw food and 1 water. Now, I would say... I think the food and water should go to Katya. I'm tempted to give it to Sveta, but if we do this for Katya, then her hunger disappears, and we don't have to worry about her misery going up further. That means both Sveta and Pavel do not get to eat or drink. So we have to resolve the water thing first. We take 1 water, Katya drank, so she doesn't have to worry about it. But for Sveta, we need to roll to see if we increase her hunger or her misery. And we got a 5, so that means we raise Sveta's hunger by 1. So now she's up to hunger 2. Okay. So now we also need to roll for Pavel, because he didn't get to drink. He gets a 1, so that also increases his hunger. He now has hunger level 1. Okay. So that was the water. Now we're going to have Katya eat this raw food, and that will make her hunger go away, which is great. But we're going to increase Sveta's hunger up to 3 now, and Pavel's hunger increases to 2. Get level 3 hunger out here for Sveta. Sveta is not doing good. We need to get some more food, and we need to get some medicine for her, or we are potentially going to lose Sveta here. Okay, so that was dusk. That is done. Now we go to evening, where we consider who is going to go where. And I think we already know how this is going to play out, right? We take the ladies, and they both go scavenging. Even though Sveta is not doing very well at all, she's going to go out scavenging. Her fatigue is only at 1, so that's fine. At least we're fine-ish on fatigue. All right, and then we're going to leave Pavel here on guard duty because we always have to have at least one person on guard duty. Even though for this turn, we know that things are relatively peaceful and we don't have to worry about a night raid event happening this time. Okay, so I guess what we got to do is go to the hospital and really hope we can get a bunch of good stuff. What we might want to do is, as usual, take our tools. We can take a shovel, a saw blade, and jewelry. Yeah, I think we should do all of that. A shovel weighs us down a little bit, and it might be useless. On the hospital card, it doesn't specifically mention rubble, but rubble could be a thing in the exploration, I think. Let's see, to do healing, we have to burn 4 exploration cards. Alright. Do we take the shovel or not? I kind of think we should, because, like, thanks to Through the Sewers, 5 plus 4 is 9. We could bring back 9 weighted items, and that doesn't even have anything to do with all the items that aren't weighted. So yeah, we'll take these things. We also have to be mindful of army deals. That kind of means that cigarettes, booze, and jewelry, the price is raised by 5, which kind of means the jewelry that we have could potentially get us more of a trade if trading is going to happen. So, all right, we know where everybody is and we know where they're going, so we do need to raise everybody's fatigue by 1 now. So Savetta is going to have fatigue level 2. We need to get fatigue level 1 for the other 2 people, for Pavel and for Katya. Okay. So there's that. Now let's go to the scavenging phase. All right. We already know we're going to the hospital. And we've already chosen the equipment. Noise marker is already on there. So all we got to do now really is draw, let's see, 14 exploration cards. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. Okay. Okay. Just being paranoid and double checking that the phone is still recording here. All right. So we have selected where we're going to go. We're going to the hospital. We've drawn our exploration cards. This is what we have. So let's check the top exploration card. Well, actually, before we do that, I think the first thing we're going to do is burn 4 exploration cards so that we can go straight to heal. So we have to take 4 exploration cards off the top. 1, 2, 3, 4. Put them on the top of this other deck here. That represents us taking some time to find probably some hospital staff that is still around to maybe take a look at Savetta. So it says to go to entry 932. That is what that says. Okay. Entry 932 says 938. 932 says, although the hospital is nothing like it was before the war, it still evokes a certain feeling of security and safety. If there's a place that can be called a safe haven nowadays, it's this hospital. People here seem to notice only those who are in the direst need of help. Once a patient has been saved, even only barely stabilized, the staff lose all interest. Still, while in this haven, our bodies and minds have the chance to recover and perhaps even heal. There's even some food distributed from time to time. So basically, we have an option of returning 2 exploration cards to do one of 3 things. We can lower the wounds of one chosen... Okay, we can lower wounds, illness, or hunger of one chosen character present by 1. So... And Savetta is at 3 for both illness and hunger. So let's burn 2 cards, and we're going to do this for her illness. 1, 2. Alright, and we're going to reduce her illness down to 2. Okay. So that is something. We do have herbal meds that we can assign to her once we get to the dawn phase, so there's also that. But we are going to also need some more food. We desperately need some more food, so I don't think we can afford to burn that many more exploration cards. We need to find some stuff now. So let's draw the top exploration card, see what it says. It says closed door, and we do not have a lockpick, but there is a closed door for the location. So if we can find a lockpick, we might be able to resolve this later. Now, as I was watching some of the previous episodes, I noticed that there were some bars that I set to the side, but then I got a saw blade. So I probably could have sawed through those bars, but I figured that since I ran out of exploration cards, we had to kind of end the exploration. But I probably could have. Anyway, so this is save for later. If we find a lockpick, this is an option to keep the exploration going and maybe get some more goodies. But for now, it's nothing. So next one is stairs up. So we have to look for another way or enter, raise the noise by 2, and roll for noise. Alright, so we're going to raise the noise by 2, and we're going to roll for noise so that we can keep most of our exploration cards here. We have 6 left. So let's roll for noise and see what happens. If we get 3 or less, there's going to be an encounter, and there's no guarantee that the encounter is going to be a bunch of civilians that just kind of stare at us. Who knows what's going to happen. We did get a 1, so that is an encounter. An encounter has occurred, so we can put this back down to 1, and then we draw from the residence deck. And it is rats. Okay, so it says, woof. It was nothing. Just some rats. You may return 1 exploration card to try to catch one. Okay. Let's see. Perform a backstab. See journal combat sheet. If the characters present deal 3 or more wounds, they manage to catch and kill something. Okay, we do have 2 characters, but I don't know if we're going to get 3 or more wounds. Because we don't have any weapons on us. And yeah. You'd also have to burn an exploration card anyway to do this. Just for funsies though, let's see what it says for backstab on the end here. Unlike normal combat, during a backstab, only one side attacks, so that's for these rats. Only the characters or only the enemies, and the other side cannot retaliate. Resolve the attack roll as if in normal combat. Right, so basically we would roll the unarmed die twice for both Katya and Savetta, and if we can manage to get at least 3 wounds, then we manage to catch and kill a rat, and we get 1 raw food. Ugh. That is an option. afterwards remove this card from the game. So no matter what we decide to do, we're tossing this one. I kind of think it's basically a gamble. We can throw away one exploration card and maybe get some raw food from that, or we can just not and maybe get some more stuff that way. Okay, I think we're just removing this card from the game. 'Cause I don't think it... I mean, it's possible we could get 3 wounds, but it's very unlikely since we have these 2 ladies. They are not armed, and getting 3 wounds is quite the ask. One of them would have to get at least 1 wound. Look, there's a 2 as soon as I roll it. And a 1. There, we just got 3. But yeah, I decided to not risk it, and we threw it out, so whatever. Anyway, next one. What's the next exploration card? It is, you may ignore this card or poke about. We can return 1 exploration card, or we can roll for the noise. To choose 1 finding. Alright, we're going to roll for the noise, because the noise is currently 1. So we're going to roll for the noise, and if we get anything other than a 1, we're good. 10, we're good. Okay. So choose 1 finding from the special findings chart for this location. Okay. We really need... Let's see. We can choose chems, herbal meds, 100% alcohol, meds, or bandages. I think we should take either meds or bandages. Although, if we take alcohol... Yeah, if we take alcohol, we know we can give that to Pavel to reduce his misery down to like level 2. That would also greatly increase his fatigue. Because I think with 100% alcohol, that might be 2 fatigue? No, with 100% alcohol, raise fatigue by 1 and lower their misery by 1. Okay. I think we're taking 100% alcohol. We can definitely use that. We already have herbal meds that we could assign to Sveta, but Pavel's misery is also at 3, so we want something to deal with that. So we found 100% alcohol there. Cool. Next card. What does the next card say? Also, let's see. Play during the scavenging phase. When resolving a findings card, you also find a knife. Okay, we haven't drawn a findings card just yet. So once we do, we can play the got it to get a knife. We have... Okay, so we did get a rubble map card, but this is nothing because there's no rubble like in the location. So we just have to throw this out. Because that is a map card. So even though we have a shovel, we don't have the option to dig through it. What does the next one say? The next one says Reality Impact. Okay. So we draw a card from the colors deck. And that says gray. So it's gray. Then draw a card from the exploration deck and check the number with that color. So it's going to be 153. Find that number in the book of scripts. Okay, 153. Where is 153? 153 says, we hear the noise of a heated argument coming from outside. You're not leaving. I won't allow it. We see a sturdy man grab a woman who tried to run down the stairs. He forcefully drags her inside the apartment. It's safer at my mother's. Let me go. It's probably a lady. The woman breaks free and makes it down the stairs this time, her suitcase only half shut. I said you're staying. The angry man catches up with her halfway down the stairs and rips the luggage from her hand. The woman sighs as she gives up, and, following a scuffle, she goes back upstairs. We're about to step away from the window, and then we notice something on the stairs. Looks like something shiny fell out of the woman's suitcase. So we have two choices. Whatever it is, it's hardly worth the effort. Back to the game. Or, let's see what's so shiny. We can return one exploration card and then turn to 1615. How many cards do we have left? We have precisely 3. Meaning there's really only, if we burn one card here, we only have 2 left, and we have no idea what the shiny thing is. Or what's going to happen if we try to take it. Let's find out. Let's find out. Why the heck not? Let's find out. So now we go to 1615 to see... let's see what's so shiny. So we go to 1615. What happens? Was this a good decision? Let's see. 1615. If it's shiny, that suggests it could be some kind of tool. Wait, which one are we looking at again? Damn it. We're at 153. Six, 1615. What's that? 1650. 1615. Okay, 1615 says, the lost treasure was probably going to be used as currency in the woman's hour of need, but the wristwatch had seen better days. There were no hands on it, and the digits were almost completely worn off. We're not sure if we can even get a can of food for it, but we intend to keep it anyway. Add 1 jewelry to the findings pile. Okay, that's cool. We get some more jewelry. Now the problem is we would not be able to just initiate a trade because that requires 6 exploration cards and we only have 2 left. So far the only thing we've found is 100% alcohol and a bit of jewelry. Not much. If we can get a lockpick some kind of way, we can try to get through that closed door. Otherwise, we gotta, let's see. What does it say? Alright. Shuffle this card back into the colors. Put this card back into the colors deck. Throw out the reality impact card. Shuffle the colors deck. What is the next one? The next one says, I think I saw something. Return as many exploration cards. We can't do that. So now we have to roll to see, do we trigger yet another encounter here, just automatically? 1 through 5, we trigger an encounter. And we get a 4. So we get another encounter. Okay. So what does the top resonance deck say now? It says thugs. Combat begins automatically. Shit. We may try to stop the fight. C40. Damn it. We're almost out of here. Let's see what it says. It says go to. So this is my first time trying to do combat, so we'll have to see what it says here. Combat sheet. It says combat begins immediately. Combat is round-based. Each round you roll a combat die corresponding to the weapons used for each character and enemy. The number of icons shown on a rolled die is the amount of wounds dealt. Well, that's interesting. Combat FAQ C900. Let's go to 900 and see if it tells us something else. What's going on here? Because I guess what I'm wondering, if it says combat begins automatically, but it also says you may try to stop the fight C40. Okay, so when it comes to these options, can we do them right away, or do we have to do at least one round of combat before we can try to stop the fight? 900. Let's see. Combat FAQ. Encounter the residents. If you encounter residents, you may temporarily skip checking their numbers and weapons if you do not intend to fight with them, and if the combat did not begin automatically. Once fighting erupts, though, their numbers and weapons need to be determined. Combat dice, prowess. Okay, it doesn't say. All right, let's go back to 40. Where's 40? Okay, when I go to 40, it says can be triggered after each round of combat. Okay, so it sounds like since we encountered these thugs, we have to do at least one round of combat. So they attack us, and we may get wounded here, but let's see. We got. Take these enemies out of here. Okay, finally, here's prowess 1 and prowess 2A and also C. Prowess 1. Yeah. Okay. All right. So we have 2 combatants that have melee weapons. And we have 1 combatant that has a firearm. This is not great. Because that's what's up against us and just our 2 ladies with just bare hands. Okay. Oh, we're about to get messed up here. Damn it. Well, this scavenging run did not go very well at all. So far we found almost nothing. We did help Saveta's illness, but oh boy, these guys are about to mess us up. Now how does this work again? Place enemy tokens on the spaces of the first. Each character can be assigned. Each round you roll a combat die corresponding to the weapon used for each character and enemy. The number of icons shown on a rolled die is the amount of wounds dealt. Distribute the wounds dealt by enemies as you choose between characters present in combat. Distribute the wounds dealt by characters as you choose between the enemies. Each round, combatants fight and wound each other simultaneously. Enemy wounds should be marked by sliding enemy's token to the right along the combat chart. Character wounds should be... Yeah, okay, fine. So, let's roll first, I guess, for the thugs. We can roll a melee and a ranged weapon to see... Okay, so... Yeah, they've got knives and pistols. That's what they have. Wait a minute, what? Oh, I see what's happening now. Okay. Okay, I get it. I kind of messed up. Let's see. Okay, I kind of messed up. We still gotta determine which people we're fighting. Okay, I think the way this works is you need to have the enemy tokens turned upside down. And the only thing that we know this card is telling us, we have an A enemy with a knife, a B enemy with a knife, and a C enemy with a pistol. It doesn't say anything about what their prowess is. Oh wait, also determine the number of thugs encountered, roll the black die, draw their tokens. Thugs are armed with ABC. Okay, now I get it. Alright. So before we do anything, first of all, we roll the die to see how many thugs we have encountered. Okay, for once, a low roll is good. We only encountered 2, so that means we draw their tokens. We take all these tokens, leave them upside down so that there's like question marks on the other side, and we just draw 2 of them. 1, 2. Okay. The 2 tokens I drew are our enemies. We get a B enemy. We get 2 B enemies, so they both have knives. And one has prowess 2, meaning that one gets 2 rerolls. Alright. So now we know we're going to roll for the enemies first. We're going to roll the melee die, and we'll roll for the first one that has prowess 0 to see how many wounds they get. 2! Alright, so we have 2 wounds already. Alright, we'll give Katya 1 wound, and we'll give 1 wound to Savetta as well. Let's see, 1 wound for Katya, and 1 wound for Savetta. Who is already not doing very good at all, but now she's also wounded. Okay, now we roll for the other one that has prowess 2. And I'm not even sure what the heck that means in terms of enemies. Let's go back to 900 to see what happens when enemies have a prowess level. Prowess. A character may always use their prowess when they roll combat dice, regardless of whether the situation is combat, climbing, blah, 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 blah. When a character uses their prowess to reroll the result... Okay, but what... Wait a minute, what? What the heck? What about the enemies? What happens when the enemies have prowess? Prowess in combat. The prowess determines the number of rerolls a character may perform during each round of combat in order to get a better result. A character does not need to use all their rerolls, but the last roll is considered to be final. Enemies use their prowess automatically. They reroll the die only if the result is 0 wounds. Okay, I see now. Now I get it. Okay, cool. So this guy with prowess level 2, that means we roll for him, and if he gets nothing, he gets to re-roll twice to see if he gets something. So we roll the melee die, and he does get nothing, so he gets to re-roll once. Okay, so that was a 3. That was a 3. He got 3. I guess that means Katya now has 3 wounds and Sveta has 2. Awesome. Boy, I got excited there for a second when I got that relatively peaceful one. I was like, this is great. We can go to the hospital. We can get lots of stuff. It'll be great. It'll be great. Nope. We go to the hospital and get stabbed a lot. That's... Anyway. 3 wounds. Wounds 3 on... Wounds 3... Wounds 2 for Sveta. Wounds 3 for Katya. No. Let's give Katya wounds 2. Sveta. Boy, Sveta is really not doing very well at all now, is she? Alright, and now we get to roll for our characters to see what, if anything, they did to these fucking random thugs that just had to stab us to death before we even got a chance to say anything. That's great. That's a nothing, and also a nothing. Of course we did nothing to them. That's Alright, so, that is one round, and now we have the option to go to 40 to see how we can stop this madness. Let's go to 40. What are our options? Okay, our options are we give some of the loot back, discard tokens with a total value of 10 or more from the findings pile. They leave us alone, but also roll the black die. A result of 8 to 10, each character present suffers 1. Oh my god, you have to be shitting me. This is just getting absurd. You mean to tell me we give them some stuff to make them go away, and we could still potentially suffer additional wounds anyway when we give them something so that they go away? You have to be kidding me. Now, there's a low chance for that. It's 8 to 10, but still. What? One of us sacrifices themselves so that the rest can make a run for it. Okay, so that's... we surrender and beg for mercy. Roll the black die for each character present. A result of 1 to 2. Oh my gosh. Begging for mercy is even worse somehow. Result of 1 to 2, the character suffers 2 wounds. 3 to 4, 1 wound. 5 or more, no wounds. Also discard all the tokens from the findings pile. Oh my gosh. Return 4 exploration cards. We don't even have that many exploration cards. Oh my gosh. Okay, it seems like the only option we have, because the other 2 require us to return 4 exploration cards that we can't do. There's only, like, I think 1 exploration card left. So I guess it's a good thing we found that watch, because if we give them that watch that we found, maybe they go away and they don't kill us even more than they already did. So let's just get this over with. Let's just give up the jewelry and roll the die and hope we don't get 8 to 10. We got a 6, so we're good. The jewelry is gone. They finally go away and just leave us the hell alone. As y'all can tell, I'm not very pleased about this. I'm not very pleased about this at all. But hey, you know, that's combat. It happened. When you scavenge, you take a risk. It's... Alright. I can't even remember why that happened. Yeah, it was, I think I saw something. We just drew I think I saw something and then got stabbed a bajillion times. That's amazing. There's no way I can be happy about this result. Like, this is really not great. We were already doing very not great. And now these two ladies got stabbed, like, a lot. And we didn't even find hardly anything. We got 100% alcohol, and that's it. We didn't even find that extra watch. We had to give that up so in order to not die. What does the last exploration card say? It says search the heap. Okay, so for this one, we have to raise the noise by 1 and roll for noise, because we cannot return 2 exploration cards. We're going to maybe get to search 1 heap, and that is it. It will mean we will get a knife, and maybe we'll get some other good stuff. If we get a lockpick, maybe we can try picking that door. But otherwise, it looks like we aren't really finding that much here. So let's roll for noise. Anything but a 2 or 1 and we're good. We get a 4, so finally some good luck here. We did not trigger anything, so we now get to resolve findings for a heap chart. And we get a mechanical part and some chems. Alright. Let's see. We get mechanical part and some chems. And we get to roll for special findings. And we also get a knife as well. So 3 is nothing. Cool. But we also get a knife. We're playing this. When you play the card, remove it from the game. Okay. So we can also take a knife from here. Okay. So that was resolved. And that's pretty much it. Since we don't have a lockpick, we cannot do anything with that closed door. We are out of exploration cards. That means at least we found something beyond just alcohol. We got some more chems, we got a mechanical part, and we got a knife. But we also got a whole bunch of wounds on top of that. And we don't have any bandages. We have no bandages. We have no bandages. We have no bandages. So that means we are almost certainly going to lose Savetta. Because she has 3 wounds. And all right, let's just keep going. Let's see what happens. Hold the phone. I need to go to the restroom real quick. Okay, I'm back again. Let's try to wrap this day up. Okay, so things did not go very well in that scavenging event. Things did not go very well at all. That was the first time I've ever been attacked while scavenging. I've had encounters before, but usually it was just civilians, or maybe it was some potentially aggressive people that will only become aggressive if you take some stuff. Whereas this time, we were unlucky enough to just get some thugs that immediately attack you. And when they did attack us, we got a grand total of 5 wounds before we could do basically anything to get them to go away. Now, I guess at least there was that option to, like, give them that watch that we found to get them to go away, and we did not roll 8 to 10, so we didn't get any more additional wounds while we were trying to get them to leave us the hell alone by giving them a fancy watch. So, as for what we actually got, well, we got one more chem, we got 100% alcohol, we got another mechanical part, and a knife, and that was it. We got nothing else. So, okay. That was scavenging. Things aren't looking even worse than when we started, really, if I'm honest. Because we have herbal meds that we can give to somebody. We were going to give it to Savetta, but she is clearly about to die from her wounds, because her wounds are up to 3. We do not have any bandages. So she is almost certainly going to die, meaning we're really going to need that booze for Pavel to bring his misery down to 2. Because if he takes another hit for misery because of the fact that Savetta died, he's on the way out next too. So, anyway, since scavenging is done, we just have to put all these cards away. We did not get to use Through the Sewers yet again because we didn't even find enough stuff to warrant using it. Like, we only found, like, 3 weighted items, like, period. So, and Katya can just carry all that stuff back by herself. She doesn't even need any help from Savetta, which is just great. Alright. So once again, as y'all can tell, I am not pleased with the way things are going. But it's, you know what? It could be worse. It's not terrible. It seems bad. But hey, at the very least, nobody is dead yet. And there's that. Nobody's dead yet. Oh, that's right. And also, at the very least, thanks to the relatively peaceful card, we are not getting raided tonight. So we don't have to worry about Pavel also getting stabbed to death by a raging gang. So there's that. I was hoping we were going to find some more stuff. Instead, we just found some people to murder Savetta for us, I guess. And a few other things. So, alright. We skip the night raid phase because there's at least one board up token in the shelter. So we are now gonna remove this card from the game. The night raid phase does not happen, but just for funsies, since we can do this for every night raid phase, and I think there are other phases as well, we're gonna read another journal entry because why the heck not? We have this thing, we might as well read stuff from it. Okay. Just gonna shuffle the residence deck real quick. Alright. Let's see here. Journal 64. Let's go to 1453. What does that entry say? 1453. I think that was the one that I almost looked. No. All right, 1453. It says, I asked one of the defenders today what it's like to be a soldier. He said he didn't know. He said they were living a regular life, a very hard life, and were just watching the other side murder their families. Another page. What else do I have to do to make people take action? What do I have to show them to make them get their butts off their couches and realize there's tens of thousands of people dying here? People being murdered in a war that makes no sense. That's what's happening here, is genocide. I've shown death in countless ways already. Children's bodies torn to shreds by bullets, mothers and wives moaning. Maybe if I die on air, maybe that'll change something. Okay, so as you might recall, we found this journal at a previous scavenging trip to the hospital. And let's see, I think we're supposed to cross off 1453 because we read that. So, and I guess that kind of represents Pavel reading the journal while he's back at the shelter because miraculously nothing happened. So that's cool. Okay, so that was the night raid phase. That means we go straight ahead to the dawn phase, I believe. Yep. Nothing happened in night raid. We go straight to dawn. So that means the scavenging party does return. Ladies come back. We get all of our stuff back now. Shovel, saw blade. We get a knife. We're at max chems again. We have some booze. Got our jewelry back, and we have yet another mechanical part. At the very least, we have plenty of mechanical parts, so there's that, I guess. Alright, now we need to resolve the dawn phase. So we need to assign, first and foremost, after the scavenging party returns, we need to assign meds and or bandages. We only have the herbal meds, so I'm thinking we give them, we have to choose between Katya or Pavel. Since Pavel is our guy with fleet of foot, oh boy, he would have been useful during that combat. Fleet of foot. When Pavel is in the group fleeing from combat, reduce the number of backstab wounds by 2. Well, we didn't run from combat, so that wouldn't have had anything to do with anything, I guess. Who should get the meds? The illness level of both Pavel and Katya is the same. We should probably give them to Pavel, though, because his misery is 3. Yeah. Let's give it to Pavel. So we're going to assign herbal meds to Pavel. Okay, so there's that. Alright, then we draw a fate card. Keep any assigned tokens, and then blah, 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 blah. We draw the top fate card and see what it says. Let's see. We raise the wounds of all wounded unbandaged characters by 1. Yup. So, looks like Saveta is dead. We lower the illness of all characters who took meds by 1. Okay. Discard meds tokens from all characters. So I guess that's the good news, is Pavel took herbal meds, so we get to remove his illness and the herbal meds. Pavel's illness is gone now. It's probably going to go right back up to 1, though, thanks to the cold. But there's that. We also need to basically take out Saveta. She is done. Her wounds have gone up to 4. And we also get wounds 3 for Katya, because she didn't have bandages on either. So she's not dead, but she's not doing well either. Let's see. Her wounds are at 3. Okay, so we now need to read an epilogue for Savetta. She is about to leave us here. Let's see. It says epilogue 285, so let's go to that and see what it says. Alright, so it's just a big list of characters. Since we've got Savetta, we now need to go to 252. 252, it says, had Savetta lived to see the war's end, she would have found it difficult to answer her pupils' questions. But at least she would have tried. Not that it matters now, the children will have to find their own answers. Remove this character from the game. Savetta is no longer with us. So we take all of her state tokens and her card and her model, and we just get rid of it all. No more hunger, fatigue, illness, or wounds. You're kinda dead, Savetta. So we get rid of her model too. She is now gonzo. Okay, so that happened. Alright, we now just have Katya and Pavel left, and Katya, neither of these two is doing very well at all. Let's keep going down the fate thing. If cold tokens minus board ups equals 4 or more, it does, because we were at 6, and we only have 1 board up, and that's 5. So we raise the illness of all characters by 1. So that means Katya is now at illness 2, and we get illness level 1 for Pavel. Alright, meaning we're going to need to get some more meds or something. Let's see. Exchange the nearest small location. If there's none, exchange the nearest medium location. Are there any... There's 2 larges and a medium, so I guess we get rid of the church, which is medium. Alright. Next card is garage. So that'll be another location that, I don't know, maybe we go to? Unless the game ends here. Alright, so Savetta died. What else is there? We also resolved the weight tokens. So maybe we get a little food here. There is that. It's not all bad news, I guess. So we roll a die and see how much raw food we get, if any. So we get a 5. That means we get 1 raw food from our deadfall trap. So that's something. Okay. And we throw that weight token out now that we have resolved that. Where did I put this fate card? Here we go. Fate card is Resolve Spirit A on all character cards. Oh great. We still don't have any coffee, so Katya's misery goes up to 3 now. And for Pavel, A is no effect. Great. Oh boy, we are not doing very good here. Oh, the coffee thing just had to happen again on top of all that other stuff. Where is misery 3? Come on. Alright, misery 3. So it looks like the only person that's going to be able to do basically anything is Pavel. Katya has 3 wounds, so she's not doing great at all. She can do nothing. Yeah, that was the fate deck. We resolved the spirit. Okay. right. We can draw 2 narrative action cards, so that's another slightly good thing, I suppose. We'll draw 2 cards from the top of the narrative actions deck, and we'll choose 1 to keep. We get kick the door down, which means we can automatically open a closed door. That could really come in handy. Although, yeah, we don't have any closed doors that would just immediately open up to some stuff we could search. Resourceful means play when crafting any fitting. Ignore the requirement for 1 of the resource token types. I think I might take this instead of kick the door down. Alright. Choose 1, shuffle the other one back into its deck. Okay, so that was narrative actions. And we can do alcohol, and then we have to roll for empathy checks. So we can give alcohol to either Pavel or Katya. Let's give it to Pavel. We're going to give it to Pavel. So Pavel's misery is going to go down by 1. But we increase his fatigue by 1. So his fatigue is now at 2 instead of just 1. Okay, and we have to get rid of the 100% alcohol. So that happened. And we also need to do empathy checks. So, for Katya, this might take her out. If we can't get 8 to 10 here, Katya is gone. And we get a 4. So Katya is now gone. Great. I might as well just also roll for Pavel as well to see if he can get 7 to 10. He didn't. He got a 1, so that means his misery is back up to 3. This might be the end of the game here, folks, because we just lost Katya. And that means Pavel is going to need to roll again, and if he misses that, then he's gone. So let's read the epilogue for Katya. It says 458. Katya is 1436. Where's 1436? Okay. It says, Katya left the shelter one night, leaving behind her war diary. It was passed on to her distraught parents, who published it a few years later. Add 1 book to the storage. Remove this character from the game. I don't think we can even do that. I think we have all 3 books, so we don't even get a free book from that. Yeah, we do not get a free book, but Katya is now gone. So we get rid of all of her state tokens and her card and her model. She is gone now too. And now that that happened, I'm going to say we also need to roll for Pavel, because if we lost somebody this turn, everybody else needs to make a roll. Katya just wandered off and didn't come back, so now Pavel has to make an extra roll. Can he get 7 to 10? He gets a 5, so Pavel is gone too now. We're going to read his epilogue, and then that's going to be the end of our little campaign, I guess. So, hey, this was not a happy ending at all. At all. This is not how I was expecting this to go. Boy, I really got hopeful there when we got that skip the night raid thing, and I figured, hey, we can go to the hospital, get a whole bunch of stuff like we did before, and bring all the goodies back, because we can even have Pavel help. We could just get like a whole bunch of stuff, and that'd be good, right? Nope. Nope. Absolutely, positively, everybody ended up dying because of that. Because of that. All right, let's read this. It says 458, so we go back there again, the same one, 458, and we find Pavel. Pavel says 1135. 1135. It says the only thing that kept Pavel going was the hope of seeing his son again. Having lost that hope, Pavel did not want to carry on and committed suicide. Remove this character from the game. Okay, so according to the book, he's taking himself out for a completely unrelated reason. Not because Katya and Sveta also died. Alright. So, yeah. Let's see. Game is over. We have lost all of our survivors. That is the end. So, no, we did not win. But, again, this is not a game that you can win, quote-unquote, per se. I mean, in theory, you can win the campaign mode if you can get one of your original starting characters all the way to the end of the game. As we can see, this is not easy. I think some mistakes I probably made were not doing like the simple heater earlier. I think that's a good build early on. I was also looking through some of these fittings, and it kind of looks like a chair is a great early build as well, although I think it counts as one of the advanced. Somehow a chair is one of the advanced builds, and you kind of need to put a character here to get that. So spend one action to get that. But if you do, a chair only costs 1 component and 2 wood, and a chair allows you to manage your misery. As soon as you craft a chair, you can lower all characters' misery by 1, and then you can also you can put it down and have a character use an action to do a rest. And if you have a character rest, there's a chance that you can lower their misery by 1. For each book in the storage, you can add +2 to the roll. So the books can help there, and a chair is a way to manage your misery without having to use booze. Okay, so there's that. Anyway, yeah, we done lost. We done lost this one. So I don't know what else to say other than like, yeah, that was pretty cool. We that was our tutorial campaign. We learned a lot of stuff about the game, and we'll try to do it again sometime and see if we can do it a little bit better. But that was this war of mine, y'all. So I want to thank you for your time and your attention if you made it this far in the video. I want to apologize for getting a little bit frustrated earlier. I guess there was no point in that because everything was going to end by the end of the turn anyway. That was pretty quick. Did not foresee that, but there it is. As I said before, you never know what the hell is going to happen in this game. Thank you for your time and attention, though, and As usual, if you want to help the channel out, there are ways that you can do that. The usual YouTube ways, like, comment, subscribe. That would be awesome. There are the usual links in the description. If you want to find out what I'm up to, I do have a Blue Sky account. You can see close-ups of all these models that I paint for all these games and whatnot there. All the work that I'm doing for the channel in the background shows up on the Blue Sky. If you're feeling generous, I do have a Ko-fi. That's Ko-fi. You can click on that to throw me a few bucks if you are feeling generous. It's a bit of a tip to help me buy some more coffee or games or whatever. That would be cool. Also, I'm always going to be plugging DSA. I am a dues-paying member of DSA. That's the Democratic Socialists of America. If you are concerned about the direction this country is headed in, basically, if you are a left-leaning person and you are very concerned about the Democratic Party basically sitting around doing nothing, not pushing back against the Republicans at all, if you are worried about what the Republicans are doing, and just the absolute state that is the working class in this country right now, and how hard it is to just sort of make ends meet, I suppose. Hey, if you haven't already, check out the DSA. See if there is a local chapter in your city, wherever the heck you are. And I would recommend just going to one of their general meetings. I can say, like, one of the many things I really like about DSA is when you go to a DSA general meeting, they will always ask who is new, who is here for the first time. They will expect you to go up to the front of the room and just sort of introduce yourself and say, you know, not just who you are and what's going on with you, but why are you there? Why have you gone to DSA? So it's pretty cool how they do that. And every meeting, usually they do these like breakout sessions, they call them, and you're going to be paired with a bunch of random people to just sort of sit around and talk about you know, what sort of things came up in that meeting. You kind of brainstorm and chat with other people. So if nothing else, DSA is a great way to get out and meet some people that are very likely, you know, share your political opinion, perhaps. Anyway, yes, DSA. Link is going to be in the description. Check that out. I'ma see y'all when I see ya. Take it easy and take care of each other, y'all.